The jungle was awake. High up in the canopy, birds sang their good morning songs, and the first warm rays of sunlight peeked through the thick green leaves. In a cozy nook on a branch, tucked away near a large waxy leaf, a small chameleon named Leon began to stir. He stretched his little legs one by one and gave a tiny, sleepy blink. It was time to start the day, time to say hello to the world, and time to become a part of it. But this morning, something felt very wrong. Leon looked down at his own feet. They were not the bright, leafy green he was used to seeing. He twisted his head to look at his tail. It was not the rich, earthy brown of the tree branch he sat on. He was just gray, a dull, plain, dusty gray from his little nose to the very tip of his tail. A tiny shiver of worry ran through him. This had never happened before. Leon closed his eyes tight and thought. He thought about being green, the color of the soft moss that grew on the stones by the stream. He thought about being brown, the color of the strong, sturdy tree trunk that held him up. He concentrated with all his might, but when he opened one eye to peek, he was still gray. His special color-changing magic was gone. He felt so very plain and uncamouflaged in a world that was bursting with color. How could he say hello to the world if he couldn't even blend in with it? The jungle felt different today. Bigger. The steamy air, which usually felt like a warm, comfortable blanket, now felt heavy and confusing. Leon's heart beat a little faster, a thump, thump, thump against his tiny chest. He was a chameleon who couldn't change, and he felt very, very small. But Leon was also a brave little chameleon, even if he didn't feel very brave right then. He knew he couldn't just stay gray forever. He had to try. He had to remember what the colors felt like. Taking a deep breath of the steamy jungle air, Leon decided he would go on a journey. He would find the colors, not just see them, but really feel them. And maybe, just maybe, his magic would remember how to work. His first thought was of green. Green was safety. Green was home. Green was the color he needed most of all. So, with a determined little wiggle, Leon began to make his way down the long, winding branch. He moved slowly, carefully, his little feet gripping the bark. On crawled the little gray chameleon through the steamy green jungle. He passed a cluster of bright flowers, but their pinks and purples weren't what he was looking for. He needed true deep jungle green. He moved under a large drooping fern, its leaves brushing over his back like a cool, gentle hand. And then he saw it. Up ahead, the path ended at a giant, magnificent leaf. It was enormous, bigger than 10 Leons put together. The morning sun shone right through it, lighting it up from within. This was no ordinary green. This was the green of new life, the green of cool, shady hiding spots on a hot day. It was the green of the jungle's very heart. Leon's eyes grew wide. He felt a little pull, a little tingle in his toes. He scurried forward as fast as his little legs could carry him and placed both of his front feet right onto the giant leaf. The leaf felt cool and smooth under his feet. It felt strong and alive. Leon closed his eyes. He didn't just see the green, he felt it. He felt the cool, smooth strength of it. He remembered the feeling of being camouflaged, of being safe and hidden, and a part of the beautiful green world. He took a deep breath and he believed he could be green again. And something wonderful happened. A little wave of warmth spread from his heart, down his legs, and right out to his toes. He peeked down. His feet were no longer dull and gray. They were a beautiful, shiny, perfect leaf green. The color spread up his legs, over his round little belly, all the way up to his chin. Leon was green. He had remembered the feeling. He did a happy little wiggle right there on the leaf. He was halfway back to being Leon. But a chameleon is more than just green. A chameleon needs to be brown too. Brown for the strong, reliable branches. Brown for the earth that held up the whole jungle. Leon knew just where to go. He needed to find the oldest, wisest, brownest tree in the whole jungle. On crawled the little chameleon, now green from head to toe, through the steamy green jungle. He was feeling much more confident now. He had done it once. He could do it again. His journey took him down from the high branches, lower and lower towards the jungle floor. The air grew even more steamy and thick down here, filled with the smell of damp earth and old leaves. And then he found it. The great tree. Its trunk was wider than 100 Leons. Its bark was rough and patterned with deep grooves and lines, like a map of all the years it had lived. This brown wasn't just a color, it was a story. It was the brown of strength, of patience, of holding up the sky for generations. Leon reached out and gently touched the rough, ancient bark. It felt gritty and solid. It felt endless and steady. Leon pressed his whole green body against the trunk. He could feel the tree's strength, its deep, quiet power. He remembered the feeling of being brown, of being sturdy and grounded and safe. He closed his eyes and believed he could be this strong, steady brown. And that warm, happy feeling spread through him again, starting from his heart. This time it was a deeper, calmer warmth. He looked at his side, pressed against the tree. His beautiful green skin was deepening, darkening, shifting into the most perfect, speckled, woody brown. The brown color swirled over his back and down his tail until he was perfectly, wonderfully half green and half brown. Leon felt so strong. He had remembered another feeling, but he wasn't finished. There was one more color to find. The most exciting color of all, red. Leon knew red was a color of energy and fun, but where could he find it? He looked around the shady jungle floor. It was full of greens and browns, but no red. He needed to find a spot where the sun loved to dance. He began to climb back up, away from the cool, brown earth, towards the warmer, sunnier parts of the jungle. Up climbed the little chameleon, now green and brown, through the steamy jungle. He was getting tired, but his confidence was growing with every step. He had found 2 colors. He could find the third. He pushed through a final curtain of vines and found himself in a wonderful, sunny clearing. And what was that, right in the very center? The most beautiful red jungle flower he had ever seen. Its petals were wide open, drinking in the sunlight. This wasn't just any red. It was the red of a juicy, ripe jungle berry. It was a happy, bright, dancing red. It was the color of excitement and joy. Leon's heart gave a little leap. This was the feeling. He moved closer, carefully, until he was right at the flower's base. He could smell its sweet, light scent. He reached out one little green and brown foot and touched the soft, velvety petal. It felt delicate and soft and full of life. He remembered the feeling of being red, of being bright and noticeable and full of fun. He closed his eyes and, with all the confidence he had gathered on his journey, he believed he could be this wonderful, vibrant red. The warmth flooded through him once more, but this time it was a zingy, joyful, fizzy feeling. It started in his heart and shot out to the very tip of his tail. He could feel the change happening. He opened his eyes and looked at his beautiful, patterned skin. The green and brown were still there, but now, swirling across his back and dotting his head, were the most perfect, brilliant spots of beautiful red. He had done it. He had found all the colors. Leon was no longer a dull gray chameleon. He was a magnificent green, brown, and red chameleon. He was a kaleidoscope of jungle colors. He felt a happiness bubble up inside him. He felt confident and proud. He had been brave, he had used his memory, and he had found his true colors all by himself. He found a sunny leaf in the middle of the clearing, a perfect place to show off his new old colors. He settled down, a perfect blend of green leaf, brown stem, and red flower spots. He was completely perfectly camouflaged. He was home. He was Leon. And as he sat there, happy and content, a gentle breeze rustled the leaves around him. It carried the scent of something new, something sweet, and perhaps yellow? A field of golden sunflowers on the other side of the jungle, maybe? Leon's eyes sparkled. A new color to remember? But that was an adventure for another day. For now, he was just going to sit right here, in his sunny spot, and enjoy being his wonderful, colorful, confident self. Moral: self-confidence comes from within. By believing in yourself and using your memory, you can overcome challenges and discover your true, colorful potential.